Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of the Urban Homesteading channel. If today is the first time you're visiting with us, I want to extend you a very warm welcome and invite you to view any of our over 500 videos that we have arranged for your convenience in playlists, as we are confident you're going to find something both useful and entertaining to watch. If you've been here before, welcome back. If today is your birthday, we want to wish you a very happy birthday. Today we are doing something really fun. We are in Elpida's apartment and she has this very nice patio that we call dogio because it's for the dog, right?
Right.
And there is something that prevents her from actually totally enjoying this patio. And what would that be, Elpida?
Bugs.
Bugs? Now this is an interesting project because we had to talk with the apartment complex to get their permission to do it, but we are going to create a screening for this area so the patio can be enjoyed by both the dog owner and the human allowed to live here. So stick around and we're going to show you a renting friendly project of how you can easily and inexpensively screen your patio or dogio. So this project started with taking measurements of our openings, right? We have this 4x4 posts here that nicely frame the patio. So we needed the distance between the floor and the ceiling, and also the distance between this board, this post, and the wall on each direction. We're kind of, I don't know if we're lucky or not, but here we only need 2 screen areas because the other 2 areas are actually walls. So the next step after we measure was a trip to our local big box store, and we purchased how many? 12? 1x2s, and in addition to those, some time ago we purchased some screening material from the Store of Everything. And this is all we really need for this. You can use screws on this or nails. We're going to use brads and some screws to create the frame, but this is a fairly simple project. We are going to use a saw versus a power saw because we don't have an area here to set it up. So stick around and we're going to show you every step of how we achieve that. So here we are, we're doing our very first dry fitting, and we have 3 of the boards we bought arranged in the location we think we want them. And one of the discussions we had was where we're going to put the screen, right? Putting the screen the outside facing us would be easier, but it will not look as nice, we think at least. Mm-hmm. So we decided to put it outside, which will make it a little harder because this is a very small patio, so we'll have to move the screens around to do things, but that is okay. If you have a bigger patio, the process is the same, but you will probably have a little more space to work, right?
Yep.
So let's move on. We're going to use our Greg jig and make 2 holes, one on each side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Process.
Okay. So then I just need to go all the way in.
All the way until you touch the collar.
Okay.
And you're forward, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. If you release it, I will turn it over. This is the fun part. And by fun, I don't mean fun at all.
Mm-hmm.
And let's make sure we're on the same
Folks,
side.
we are maneuvering these boards within a very tight space, so it becomes a little bit tricky. We have to take
The hole
our
is on
time.
this side, the hole is on this side, right?
Right. Again, what Elpida was checking is you always have to put your holes on the same side of the board. All right, we're going to do the same on the other board, and in fact, we're going to use this method to attach all the boards together, right?
Yeah. Okay. So just put that one back in the corner for now. And since this is the back of the board because it's got the tags on it, and I want to do this front, right?
No, hold on. No, you want it on the tags, so it won't be visible. So we'll put it this way, you see?
Okay.
We'll attach it so that there are no visible holes.
Alright. So the tags are toward you.
No, the tag should be toward you.
Okay.
correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to repeat this process a couple more times until we have all of our frame boards ready.
So we've become the frame, and the next piece we're going to attach will be one in the middle to make the window frame. And we're going to show you how to do that in just a moment.
Do on this side because we can always cut off a little more.
Can you hold it there? Try not to close it. Try not to close it.
I'm trying to
Okay.
put that over there.
Our screen width is about 60 inches. So we are at 98 inches height. So we have to at some point put a divider, and this is where our divider will be. We're using what is becoming our favorite clamps
Yep.
to hold it temporarily, and we are going to screw it from the other side.
Yep. So we have it framed up nice and square at the measured length and spot that we want it within the frame.
Okay, so are you forward or reverse?
Well, I'm in forward, but I'm kind of behind it, so.
Okay. So now we're just taking the screen out of its nice container, and we're going to cut it to the appropriate width first, right?
Yes.
And if we need, we're going to attach the length once we connect it to the first piece.
It gets a little confusing length width because we're actually going to apply it horizontally.
Sideways. Yep.
And we're going to attach the screen using staples, right?
Okay, so.
And this is plastic. What kind of screening this is?
Fiberglass.
Oh. And we measured and we want 92 inches, right?
92 or 93?
92. We got a little ways to go.
Being in an apartment here, we have a little more limited space, right?
Okay, I think we're now where we need to be. Just, now the trick is cutting it evenly.
I'll cut it next to the.
That's what I
To
was
the
going
roll.
to do if I can pull it this way just a skosh and try to line it up with the line there. But I have to do this too. Have a measure.
So we're using a pair of scissors to cut the string, and very creatively, as per our channel motto, we use the, what do you call it, the flooring lines as a giant pattern, right?
Mm-hmm.
In an attempt to cut this perfectly. Better?
Well, it's shooting singles instead of doubles and triples, so yeah.
No, don't staple my mic.
Don't staple your mic. I thought I would.
I know
To
you
make
did.
things interesting.
Well, I don't want to pull down on
Yeah.
the thing.
Don't put them too close because remember we're going to have to do a second one for the top.
Yeah, so that's where the middle one is, which is kind of torn. I don't understand why it's torn. I want to do this end and then we'll do one in the middle.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, friends, we finished with our first panel, and this is what we envision, right? Of course, it's up to Elpida because it is her project. So how it looks like to you, Elpida?
Looks good.
And I promise I do know how to say your name.
You sure?
Almost positive.
You want to say how we secured it in place? We've got the structure up. We've got the screen all tacked and tightened.
And then we use the airstrike to tack it into place.
Now, based on, we asked our apartment complex and they had no problem with us attaching it. But this is designed so if you didn't want to attach it, you didn't have to. It is kind of pressure fitted in there, so it would stay there and you can remove it. And of course, if it is your own space, you can clearly attach it. And if this was not wood, you can use it Tapcon screws, which go to concrete.
Or you could just use regular screws if you wanted to be able to take it out later.
Right,
So now
we've got one side done, right?
Right, and now we're going to do the second side. So this is one of those projects that if you do it correctly, it's almost imperceptible that you did it, right? So you see me now behind the screen, and here we don't have the screen. And I don't know how much difference you can see on the video, but inside it is very, very little, right?
Yeah.
Very imperceptible. So again, if you do it okay, the sad part is no one will know you actually did any work. But just a little demonstration again, behind the screen, protected from bugs, no screen at all. It's actually behind us. We are about to install it. So stick around and we'll show you that fun part. Alright folks, one of our screens is installed, as you can see here.
Well, it's hard to see except the wood that's holding it up.
Right, and we are ready to install the other screen. Here it is.
There, you can see it.
Can you?
Yeah.
And we're going to do that, and this will conclude the project really. Once we're done with that, the project is done, right? And I can see an ant that cannot come through, so that's great. Try as he might, he's failing, right?
That's what I like to hear. No bugs. I know, but I don't think we need to do that.
Okay, whatever you want. If you don't want to, you don't.
That's fine, and then I'll just tack the other side.
Want to join you on the top while you're there? And I think it's fine, but okay, before you trim it, and here we are, this is our complete project. The patio that we call affectionately dogio is completely screened. And we realize it might be a little hard to see that it's completely screened, but take our word for that, I don't know what. This is I would say what, a one day or a weekend project, depending on the size of your patio. You know.
Yeah, and this is a small space. Didn't take a lot of material.
Which actually made it worse, really.
Right, and the fact that we had to assemble all of it within the space.
Because it could not be assembled inside and brought out. The doors were too small. So anyway, that was our problem.
So I suppose that if you had a larger space, you could do more panels, right?
Well, you will have to do more panels.
Yeah.
But even on that size, which is what we said, 65. I mean, it's pretty large, you know.
Yeah.
But it still looks, I think, looks very nice, right?
Yeah,
It makes the whole place.
Good. And best of all, no bugs.
No bags. These bags for us. And I like the white wood creates a nice little frame around it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
So, folks, where the white wood is, that's where the screen is. If you can't see it, because it's you can see right through it.
Well, lessons learned. What did we learn in this project?
Get staples that fit your staple gun.
Right.
No, all buildings are a mess. And we'll show you an example. This might look to you like we made a mistake here. But in reality, we didn't make a mistake. This is actually level, right?
Yep.
What is not level is the fence.
Right.
And if you go a little around this frame, see how nice it looks? That's because actually it is not. It's crooked, right? That frame. We decided to build it incorrectly to fit the space rather than have 90-degree angles. That would be the correct way to build it, because when we were measuring, we found out virtually every measurement we were taking were different.
Yep.
So sometimes this looks nice, but it is not. It is actually crooked. And this looks crooked and it's perfectly level. And at that point, I think we were tired to fix it. And we left it as a reminder of our...
And so that's one of the things you're dealing with a structure that is already existing, where you're trying to retrofit something. So you basically just have to make it work within the space rather than a fresh build where you could build it correctly.
So do you guys feel more secure now, more safe? Still amazing that it is not very obvious, isn't it?
No, but you can see the difference between the upper level
Yes.
and the one that's just installed on the lower.
But I think we did a good job. There are not many creases or anything like that. It's kind of amazing, isn't it? A nice afternoon project. Bug safe.
Safe from the bugs, which is the important part.
All right. Good. So what material we needed on this project? The most expensive, I think, was the screen.
Yes.
And in our case, we used maybe a fifth of the screen we bought.
Yeah, we used maybe 40 feet of 100 feet that I bought.
Right. So that was the highest expense. The other material you need is really the wood, which all is one Patio's, right?
Yeah, 1 by 2 is 8 feet for the space.
Right. And that will depend on your space, of course, and the width. And you can get more elaborate. We wanted something simple that if we needed to remove, we could, right? But you could make more lights in the paints. You could do a lot of different things. But for our purposes, that meets the criteria we want. And as I said before, this is one of those projects that if you do it okay, do well, no one knows you did it, right? I mean, it's hard to see. If you don't do it well, it will be clear.
And we've already had a neighbor compliment your
Right.
project.
And so the cost for this, that's all inclusive of all of the screen, is still just over like $110 with
Okay.
the wood and the screen, not including the new staple gun.
And that is a story we didn't put on video, but we had a very old staple gun that apparently they don't make staples for anymore.
It still worked though.
Yeah, the staple gun worked, we just couldn't find staples for it.
Right.
So we end up buying another staple gun. Well, friends, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Urban Homesteading channel. This is a project that you have a small space like ours. It's an easy afternoon project. If you have a big space, it will probably be a weekend project. And you probably can streamline it better than we did. In any case, we're talking about $100 to make a significant difference in your living space. It is, the way we designed it, a rental friendly project. This can be removed. And in all, we had a little bit of challenge because of the space, not because of the project, right? And sometimes in an older place, as we already mentioned, you need to adjust. You don't necessarily want to make it perfect. For example, we have made this first panel perfect, but then we had a hard time making it fit, and we had to make it imperfect to fit, right? Which added work for us. Again, we didn't show it to you guys, but you can never assume. Even though we did take measurements, we did also make some assumptions, and we shouldn't have done that.
Like straight poles.
Right. From Dr. Wizard, Mrs. Wizard, Elpida, and the Urban Homesteading channel, stay safe, wash your hands, put your masks on, and we're going to see you soon. Farewell, friends.